just as I was wrapping up an interview with a young woman called Nisha. She told me something that stopped me in my tracks. We were standing on what is believed to be the world's highest football pitch. And that's where it all started. Immediately my head started spinning. Can you imagine filming a match here? Trouble was, it was already past 7 p.m. and I was catching the first flight out in the morning. That was back in 2014. And as each year passed by, the prospect of me coming back to Nepal and doing this felt more and more remote. A bit like a door closing. But the seed had been set and it never quite left me. But now it's 2025. A full 11 years later since I was last in Nepal. But I'm going back. I've got an appointment this Friday at 1:30 at Lukla Basic School, where they're putting on 2 football matches, 1 boys, 1 girls match, for me to capture some footage. But that is just the start of my adventure, because I hope to connect with trekkers who are from across the globe and find out what their stories are. Why are they heading up to Everest Base Camp? But more than that, I want to connect with local people, dig a little bit deeper, and find out what life is like living under the shadows of the world's highest mountains. Let's go! There's my train. We're going to start this journey heading for a town called Lukla. To Kathmandu Airport and then into the domestic lounge to try and get our seats on a plane to Lukla. Now, it's always a bit chaotic in there, and today was no exception. Because for the last 3 days there's been no flights. It's either been too windy, too cloudy or too misty. So of course what that results in is a crowd of trekkers and climbers all wanting to get on the same plane. And the Sherpa guides are all at the front, big strong fellas, shoulder to shoulder, trying to do the best for their clients by getting them on my seat. And I thought, oh God, I would stand no chance of getting my seat there. I'm far too polite to try and get out my way and fight for my own cause. But I have a secret weapon, and my secret weapon is Doma. Doma is my Sherpa guide, and she's one of the very few female Sherpa guides that there are. So how did you manage that? How did you manage that?
Our luggage is totally 72 kg.
And now we're boarding this Dornier 228 twin prop, which is renowned for its short takeoff and landing capabilities, which is a good job considering where we're going. Lukla Airport is known for being one of the most dangerous airports in the world. As the weather was good, we had hoped for a nice, smooth flight. However, this turned out not to be the case.
Oh money Penu, please mom save me please. Oh money Penu, like that. And I'm starting to cry. Oh mama please.
What Doma told the check-in clerk was that we were going to go and climb a mountain, and our schedules were much tighter than those going up to Everest Base Camp, and that seemed to do the trick. This is Lukla. To most visitors, it's the gateway to Mount Everest and Everest Base Camp. Currently, the only way to get here is by plane, or helicopter, or by walking. But they are building a road which will eventually reach here. But if you think the flight is scary, it's nothing compared to the road, with sheer cliffs just centimetres from your vehicle tyres. The first thing most people are going to want to do is take a photo of planes taking off and landing at the airport. But I've got an appointment at Lukla Basic School, so it's time for me to go.
72 kgs, did you hear that?
Luggage is totally 72 kg.
You must be thinking, what have we got in our bags? Well, it's not all ours. We're donating. When I say we, that's the Public Speaking Academy, the company that I work with, are donating a load of sports gear to the school in Lukla. Now, what I mean by that, we've got badminton nets and brackets and shuttlecocks. Volleyball is big here, so we've got volleyball net, because they've got volleyball posts here but no nets, and volleyballs, football kits, footballs, skipping ropes, those sort of things.
And here I am, trying to warm up the crowd for the main event, which is starting in just a few minutes. So here we are at Lukla Basic School, and we're just about to watch a football match on what might be the highest football pitch in the world. Now, I don't know what it's going to be like. It could be something of great skill or organised chaos. Whatever happens, it's going to be brilliant. Both matches put on especially for me. I'm so grateful to the school and everyone involved. I have to admit, I sort of assumed that there might be goalposts and maybe some white lines as well marking the pitch. However, it's just like when I was at school and we would put down our coats as goalposts, but here we grab some rocks, and I guess that is just about perfect. So here we have two matches, one girls under 14 and one boys under 14. And as you can see, the girls' match is already underway. Even though we donated football kit, they didn't want to wear it for this match, because immediately after this match, they're going home for the weekend, and they'll use those kits another time. And look out for this striker. Great movement, nice little shimmy. And choice of football, pink slippers. And with a goal to her name, she was voted Woman of the Match. And now it's for the boys' match. All in school uniform, only they know who's on whose side. Nice cross in, he's leaped high, ooh, just over the post. Nice little build up here, but it comes to nothing in the end. It's a bit of a scramble, don't know what's going on, he's lining it up, it's a volley, it's a shot, it's in the back of the net. Let's see that again, winning him man of the match. We offered a gift to everyone who'd taken part. and they chose exercise books and pens. But what moved me most was the way that they clapped for each other and seemed to treasure those books. I found that very humbling. Just a couple of things I want to share with you before we leave the school, and that is, I had a chance encounter with an old acquaintance. Have you ever seen a car?
Car?
Yes.
No, I haven't seen car, but I've seen in TV.
You've seen a car on TV. What about a bus?
I never seen that also. Just TV in the TV.
Hello Lee, it's been a long time I haven't seen you. I'm so happy to see you here, and now I'm teaching at the school, and this is the school where I studied before, and I'm working here. I'm so proud of. Thank you.
Second thing I wanted to share with you was that we met these two children on their way to school. Now they explained that they can't stop long because they got up at 6 o'clock this morning to have their breakfast, and now they're heading for school and they hope to get there for 9 o'clock.
My name is Lee Furness and I'm from Sheffield in the UK.
Hello everyone, Namaste, it's me Doma Sherpa from Lukla district, and then I'm a female guide in Nepal, in a young age, I'm just 21 years, and then maximum I have a group of clients is like a female, but this time Lee Fun came from UK. He want to go to the Olympic, and then he's my sponsor because he support me when the earthquake came in 2014 in Nepal, and then after I have some problem in my family. My father is passed away in the mountains, and he support me for our education, Then I forced to the Lee. He wants to be the go Olympic with me, because that time he support me. So this time also I need to take care of him. Thank you.
धन्यवाद। नमस्ते, म मापदूत कोशी साथबाट आज म ओलम्पिक प्रस्थान गर्दैछु। यहाँ मेरो बिच गाइड डोमा बहिनी हुनुहुन्छ। उहाँसँग म सिजनमा ट्रेकिङ पनि गरिरहन्छु र यसपालि मेरो गेस्ट यहाँ युकेबाट ओलम्पिक समिटको लागि आउँदैछ। त्यसमा म पनि उसको हेल्पर केही उसको सामान इक्विपमेन्टहरु बोकेर म पनि हिँड्दैछु र आज हाम्रो दिनबजे प्रस्थान हो। भोलि पर्सि चाहिँ हाम्रो सबै धन्यवाद।
Anyone who's ever been to this area will tell you that the porters are the unsung heroes. You could be 10 days walk away from the closest road. That's 10 days for most of us. Locals do it faster. They can walk quicker and for longer hours, and no need for acclimatization stops. But you get the drift. You're a long way from the closest road. That could go some way to help you understand as to why Nisha, do you remember Nisha, at the age of 16, had never seen a car? Because up here, there are no roads. Everything that you might need in your house, everything that you might get from your local shop, has to be carried on someone's back or on the back of an animal. Cooking oil, sugar, a TV, a fridge, all of those things have to be carried. Some porters haul the supplies for the local community, like these guys. And they get paid depending on the weight that they're carrying by the distance that they travel. Others work in the tourist industry, carrying the bags for the trekkers, the mountaineers, as well as all the mountaineering equipment. Now, a lot of people feel a bit uneasy about paying somebody else to carry their bags, myself included. However, when you recognise that portering out here is a job, it's a profession, and if you've joined like a group or come as part of a charity, then it's probably already included. Now, you're under no obligation to have a porter. You can certainly carry your own bags. There's no issue there whatsoever. But they're provided to help you get the most out of your trip.
Namaste.
Namaste. What is your name?
My name is Ajay Kulung.
And where are you from?
I'm from Solukhumbu district, Mahakulung. And this is for base camp, Everest base camp. And I work here from 3 years. And it's my job.
How heavy is this?
54 kg.
54 kgs.
Yeah.
Oh, go.
Now
Oh my
might be a
goodness.
good time for us to talk about what animals you might see en route. As you can see, there's a guy here on a horse. I don't know who is leading who, but you don't see many horses, but clearly it's the quickest way to get around. And most people who you do see on a horse are actually heading down because they've got an injury or something like that. And rather being carried by two men, they get a horse. The other animals that you're going to see, you'll see donkeys, plenty of donkeys. And I've come to really like the donkeys. And you're going to see some drodpi. Now these are a cross between a yak and a cow, but they have a much calmer temperament than a yak, but they're still pretty strong. And then of course there's the yak. Now a yak is the male form, think of that as a bull, and a nak is the female form. And yaks are easily identifiable because they've got great big heads with huge horns and covered in fur, long fur, all over their body. And they normally have a great big tail also. And unlike the drodpi and the donkeys, you do not want to touch these. They do not want to be petted or patted, and they will get upset with you if you start trying to pat them. As you're going along the track, you may well come across a load of livestock coming towards you or coming up from behind you. And the general rule is that the human goes the mountain side of the track, not the cliff edge side of the track, for obvious reasons, because they could quite easily just knock you off the edge without even noticing. And there may even be some times when you've just got to climb up the mountain a little bit. I mean, just up from the track a few feet, because sometimes there's so many animals, whether they be donkeys or drodpi or yaks, that they can't get out of the way, and they're going to squash you or squish you just by accident. So yeah, there may well be some times when you just have to climb up and get out of the way. Whilst I was tucking into my thali, it struck me that everything on my plate had been grown within walking distance. Rice, vegetables, properly local food. No trucks, no air miles. Just terraced fields, back garden plots, and a lot of hard graft from the farmers. And the carbon footprint for my meal? Well, quite literally, a footprint. A real one, a human one. And I've just met you bringing some vegetables that you've grown in your garden.
Yes.
And you're selling them
Yes.
to... Oh, and what is your name?
Imja Tse Base.
Nice to meet you, Pima. And do you want to show me what you've just brought? Do you want to walk
Sure,
through
yeah.
now?
Here. You show here? I sell this carrot. And then I sell this. The carrot. This one, big one. Yeah, yeah.
Well, look
What's
at that.
big one?
Yes.
One is better.
And here?
Yes.
So you sold 2 bags?
Yeah.
You carried 2 bags of carrots
Yeah.
on your back
Yeah.
for 45 minutes.
Yes.
And you sold them both?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. I think yes.
And what other vegetables do you grow and sell?
You know, the carrot and cabbage, bean.
I was lucky enough to spend some time with some farmers planting seed potatoes. I couldn't help but wonder, how do farmers keep their soil healthy without fertilizers? I mean, synthetic fertilizers are expensive at the best of times, and getting it up here pretty much impossible. The answer? Good old-fashioned manure. But where would they get hold of manure up here? I just can't think. Dug in regularly in generous amounts. You can see neat mounds of manure spread out evenly across the terraces, just waiting to be dug in. And whilst we're on the topic, Perbayani Sherpa went on to explain that they have other uses for yak dung. What do you do with this poo?
यो भन्छ यो गोबर चाहिँ टालेर आगो बनाउने तताउने खाना बनाउने टालेर गोबर बने डल्लो गरेर
By burn it?
अनि मोल
And do they dry it first?
Yeah, first they dry it. They paste in the wall and then they can cook a food also, and then they can use in a.
दुगाने नि आगो बाल्ने.
And then that goes on for the fire?
Yeah.
And what about pests and diseases? I mean, when I plant my veg back home, it's a little bit like ringing the dinner bell for every slug in the country. It helps that the winters are so cold that kills off many of the bugs. But up here, the answer is crop rotation. Most pests and diseases specialize. They evolve to target just one crop, like potatoes. And if you keep planting the same thing in the same spot year after year, those pests get stronger and stronger and more numerous, until the crop fails and the land becomes useless. So these potatoes will be followed by rice in the hot, wet summer months. Maybe a winter veg crop too, if they're lucky. But no more potatoes in here for 5 years. It's a simple system that works. Starve the pests before they become a problem. Take a look at this family plot in Namche Bazaar. Now it is early in the season. You've got rows of lettuce, spinach, potatoes, onions and herbs, and with plenty of manure and a rich layer of mulch gathered from the forest floor. That mulch helps lock in moisture so that this one sprinkling of water is all that's needed each day. And the manure, well, that provides the nutrients for the soil to grow healthy plants. No chemicals, no deliveries, just old school knowledge and a lot of hard graft. And scenes like this, you'll find them in every village, right up to where the mountains say stop. It's too high, too cold to grow anything else. Does anyone fancy a cuppa? Well, put the kettle on then. So now we're going to meet a few trekkers and climbers from around the globe and find out what their stories are. Well, my name is Lee.
My name is Jyotishko.
Jyotishko.
Yes.
I've just met you. You've got plenty of ribbons. So obviously you've been greeted by a lot of Sherpas and what
locals,
have you.
yeah.
And tell me,
what you're doing with this bike, where you've started and where you've been.
Okay, myself Jyotishko again, and I'm Indian. I started from Bay of Bengal. If you coordinate the distance from Mount Everest to the nearest water body, that is Bay of Bengal. So which is approximately 1,300 kilometers. So I started from there on 7th of February, and I made it to Everest Base Camp just 2 days back.
Amazing. And so you started on the road, presumably?
Yes.
And I know Indian roads. They're not kind to cyclists.
No way.
With the trucks and everything, they don't slow down and let you go. They just. How was that bit?
It was pretty challenging riding in the highways. At the same time, the temperature was pretty higher, like 40 degrees. But yeah, when I came to the Himalayas, everything is so nice. People are so warm here. So I was greeted so nicely by the Nepalese people, and I'm so happy for that.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, my name is Lee. Would you mind introducing yourself?
My name is Sukiko Maruyama, and I'm from Japan, near Osaka. And I'm here by myself, but with my friends. I joined Indian group.
That's great. So would you mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 59.
59 years old, and you've come all the way to the Himalayas by yourself.
Yes.
Yes, you've joined a group, but this group happens to be a group of Indian people who are very nice.
Very nice.
And speak English, but they have a strong accent, so it's hard
That's
for
right.
you to understand.
Yes, that's very hard to understand.
But how is this trek? Because you've been hiking for how many days now?
Like it's 21st. I started on the 16th. So 5 days.
5 days. And how many days hiking in total will it be?
Total will be like 10 or 12 days.
10 or 12 days hiking. That's good.
Yeah.
Now, I know that you've climbed other mountains.
Yes.
Do you want to share with me, where have you climbed?
I climbed like very recently Pico de Orizaba in Mexico, and I climbed the hardest one was Aconcagua in Argentina.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And I first climbed in the Europe, in the outside from Japan is Tanzania in that Kilimanjaro.
Of course.
Yes.
Yes.
And
how was that?
It was good.
Yes, because that's a volcano is hard because it's
Yes,
always. You don't go up and down. It's always up.
I
up,
always
up,
up.
yes.
But it was a bit hard for me because I got what is a high altitude problem.
Yeah.
I a little bit.
Oh yes, you were
but
sick.
it is okay.
Yeah, that's happened. And where else? I know you've been
And
to
what
Europe.
else? I went to Mont Blanc. Yes.
No.
Yes.
I think that I want to do Mont Blanc, but I'm worried it's too hard for me. And you've already done it.
Yes, I've done. I was lucky because of the weather. It was very good.
Yes.
And what else? Where else? Elbrus in Russia and Malaysia. I forgot the name.
Kota Kinabalu.
Ah, yes.
I know. I want to do that. Fantastic.
Yes.
Oh, you're very inspiring.
Yes.
It's not often you get interrupted by yaks.
not every day. Not every day.
Please introduce yourself.
My name is Quentin. I'm from Montreal. I'm 24 years old.
But you told me earlier about something that happened in your life just recently.
Yeah, so 3 years ago I got diagnosed with autoimmune disease. It's called ankylosing spondylitis. It's a form of arthritis. You get it we don't really know where you get it from, but it affects all your articulation and your whole body. For me, it started in the hips. For the past 3 years, I've been learning how to literally walk again and live again and think again and everything.
Here you are by yourself, wandering around the Himalayas. You're going to go to base camp of Ahmedabad, which is a tough call just to get there.
Yes, hi, my name is Miti Zala. I'm here with my family, my 3 beautiful children. We are basically Indian, but we are from Dubai. And yes, this is our first time, and I'll let them introduce themselves.
My name is Eva. I'm from India and I live in Dubai. I'm here to go to EBC with my siblings.
How old are you?
I'm 12.
Hi, my name is Myra. I'm from Dubai.
I'm from Dubai, but I'm from India, but I live in Dubai.
And where are you going?
To Everest Base Camp with my family, and I'm 9 years old.
Oh, fantastic.
Hi, my name is Mahir. I'm 9 years old, and I'm here to do Everest Base Camp with my 2 siblings and my mom.
Good morning. It started off cloudy and snowy, and we thought we were going to be stuck here for a few days. But I want to introduce my new friends from China. So would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Evelyn, and I'm come from Beijing, China, and I'm a vlogger. Actually, all of us are vloggers in Chinese media.
Oh, fantastic. Well, I can't wait to get to see what you do. Do you want to pass it over?
介绍一下自己。
I come from China, Yunnan province. You can call me Huang Yingying. I'm a vlogger.
Huang Yingying, that's good.
My name is Michael from Guizhou in China. I'm a fitness coach and a climber on the outdoor every sport by February.
Very good, very good. Oh, you keep that for the moment.
Yeah.
And so yesterday I arrived here and I was sitting in there. No, in there. With the Sherpa climbers and the mother of your Sherpa.
Oh.
You went with Lima Sherpa, who was your climber, and we were waiting, and we were waiting, and we were waiting, and they're all talking around the fire, and the mother was looking out of the window. Where are they? We're getting worried. They know everything's okay, everything's okay. And then you came in, and you looked so exhausted.
Yeah, and they are like clapping their hands.
Yeah.
Congrats us.
Yes. So tell me, how was it for you? How was the climb?
So, it's about 4 hours of trekking. The very like 垂直的岩壁 and yeah, and after 4 hours trekking, and there are 4 hours climbing with ice climbing and rock climbing. It's really difficult. And after we reached the peak, I thought, oh, everything's done. I'm so proud of myself. And then after that, the Sherpa guy said, okay, now we need to go up, going down. And that's the most difficult part, because it's hard to climb, but when you come down, it's harder. Yeah, and so I'm very exhausted.
But also something I've just realized. If you look over there, it's China.
Yeah.
Instead of going to Lukla, you could walk that way home.
Yeah, but it's so difficult. You need to
You have to go over Mount Everest.
Yeah.
Sometimes a little gesture can go a long way. You may have noticed that Doma has been carrying around a little baby doll in her backpack.
Hi, Penny.
And this is because my wife, wonderful Penny, asked that if we find a child, maybe in a mountain village, that has very few or no toys, maybe we could donate it. This doll was played with by our children and by our grandchildren, but they've all grown out of it now. So she washed the clothes, she washed the doll, and here is the recipient. Oh.
My name is Pratima.
Right beside the airstrip in Lukla is a house that's being built. And as you approach the house, first you come to this mound of small rocks, pebble size. And then as you walk around this house that's being built, there are just loads and loads of, loads and loads of rocks, which then get passed up to the guys, chiseling them away by hand, creating them into bricks. And then when you look a bit closer at the house itself that's being built, you can see that every single brick has been carved from that rock. And you see the skill that's involved is just immense. And as they get higher, you can see the guys on top chipping away just with a string line. Just a few feet away, you see where the carpenter works. They've got the wood lying there to one side and the shelter over the top to make the windows and the doors on site, to where they then carve the bricks to fit exactly. But back home, in most countries, when you wanted building materials, you'd go to a building merchant and you'd have bricks or whatever building material you want ordered and delivered to your door. But of course, the only way to deliver something here is on someone's back or on a pony or something like that, or by helicopter, which obviously is far too expensive. So where do they get the building material from? No guesses. Look, this is where you come. So whoever's building the house will have to buy the rock if they don't own the land already, and you'll send the guys over and they'll start chipping away on a rock just like this one into big bits, and that's carted to wherever the building is going to be built, dumped there, and then they chip it down to size. What a job. And just in case you were wondering, where did all those pebble-sized rocks come from? Well, good morning, Doma.
Morning, Lee.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Is it really necessary to have a porter and a trekking guide? Well, the answer to that is yes and no. If you're in the Everest or the Annapurna region, a few years ago the government made it mandatory to have a trekking guide. And that's because there were a few travellers, a few trekkers who went missing. Nobody knows what happened to them. Did they fall off the edge of a cliff, down a ravine, or did something more sinister happen? Since then, it's been mandatory to have a trekking guide. However, it's quite hard for them to enforce. And I met quite a few people doing it solo, doing it on their own, carrying their own packs and guiding themselves. And that's how I did it 40 years ago. I just paid for my permits, bought a map, and off I went and had a wonderful time. I didn't need a guide. I didn't actually really want one. But a trekking guide is so much more than someone who will show you the way. They're part navigator, part medic, part cultural ambassador. And they'll keep you on track, help you spot the signs of altitude sickness, and if the weather turns or something goes wrong, they know exactly what to do. They'll book your tea house and your boarding lodge. They'll help you with permits and maybe even teach you a few local phrases.
This one is the money, and then the road. This one is written by the monk, and then this one is the like oldest stone. And then the road here, Om Mane Padme Hum. Again, Om Mane Padme Hum. I have a dream to climb a mountain also. I want to be a climber. My dream mountain is there.
What's the name of that mountain?
That mountain is Amadavlam. It's the 6,819 meters. But this one is the too much technical mountain in Nepal. Yeah, but Everest is the 8,800 meter highest mountain, the whole top mountain. But comparing the Everest and the Amadavlam is the technical mountain. So I want to be a climber, Amadavlam.
Tell me some of the mountains that you've climbed and how many times?
I have been climbed Mount Everest 15 times, maybe hopefully this year maybe 16 times. So like Allen Peak, Lopuche, Amadavlam, like many times.
Now for the foreigner, for the foreign climber, when they come, how much time will they spend here acclimatizing and practicing before attempting?
35, maybe 30 days for the foreign people.
How much would it cost? I know there's cheaper and more expensive. So for the cheaper companies, how much would somebody be spending?
A cheaper company like $35,000, maybe $14,000. But yeah, like that. Now the tourist people everywhere wants to like Wi-Fi, shower, a good bed, everything. Yeah, so like.
How much is it for more expensive? Because we know that the more expensive tend to be the better companies.
I think better to like company $75,000, maybe 80.
Well, that's incredible. 15 times up Mount Everest. And I met quite a few mountain guides that have done similar. But I have to say, there is another side to all of this. A side that is rarely spoken about. And that is that mountain guiding in the Himalayas, of course, is inherently a dangerous occupation. And every year there will be a few mountain guides that lose their lives. There was an avalanche on Mount Everest just behind me, where 16 Sherpa guides lost their life. 16 guys lost their life in that one avalanche. So let's talk about the foreign climbers on Everest. In the time that I was there, 3 people died. That's 3 lives lost. Is that a risk worth taking? I wonder what the families of those who were lost would say to that. And in the month of May alone, 2025, there were over 100 high-altitude helicopter rescue missions to Everest. 100! Now, I know Mount Everest is the highest mountain, and yes, I still get a thrill to look at it. But no matter how expensive they make it, it seems like people just will always want to go and climb Mount Everest, regardless of the risks. There are so many people, we've all seen pictures of the queues of them having to wait to get to the top. And that's having to queue up at a very dangerous spot on the mountain. You're already over 7,000 meters. You freeze up. And the oxygen levels are so thin, this area is known as the death zone. And I've chosen not to show images of frozen climbers who've died and their bodies just left behind because it's too difficult and too dangerous to retrieve them. I don't understand it. I don't. When there are literally thousands of mountains, not just in Nepal, these are the Himalayas. You know, they start off, I don't know, Pakistan, India, China, Tibet, Nepal, Bhutan, Sikkim, and the like. There are thousands and thousands of mountains. But you all want to go to that one and join that queue. Join me as I head towards the mountain called Imja Tse, or Island Peak. This is the main trek from Lukla all the way up to Mount Everest. Although I'm not going to Everest this time, we're going to veer off as we get closer. So there we've got Amadabalam, one of the hardest mountains in the world to climb. And there with the cloud on top of it, Lhotse, or is it Tutsi? It's Lhotse. Lhotse, which is right next to Mount Everest, which you can see with just a touch of cloud on it over there. So this is our first glimpse of this journey of Mount Everest. Well, we're now at a wonderful vantage point because we've got Amadabalam there, which, as I've said, is one of the most difficult mountains to climb in the world. But that's that one there. And as you follow the skyline down and that ridge, we're going to walk through that ridge. As you can see, it's quite a wide path, and it's grown over the years to cater for all of the thousands upon thousands of people who are going to come during this season. So if you are looking for a more remote trekking experience, then try another trek.
The Gorkio 3 passes is tougher than going to Everest itself and absolutely spectacular. You still get great views, better views of Mount Everest. But also Manaslu Circuit or the Annapurna Circuit are fantastic treks. Have a look around, do your own research. There are plenty of wonderful treks you can do. There is a movement to try and reclaim these mountain names back to their Nepalese names, such as Mount Everest is known as Sagadmatha, goddess of the skies, and Island Peak, Imja Tse. And as we approach Imja Tse Base Camp, this is where I'll bring my story to a close. I hope that you've enjoyed walking beside me and meeting the remarkable people who call these mountains home. A world I feel privileged to have shared with you.
Lee, you are a very old man, but you are walking look like a mountain yak.
Mount Everest, Lhotse, Amadaplam, and over there is what we're going to do tomorrow. Oh, but why would I climb a mountain that no one's ever heard of? Quite simply, because behind me you get the best views of Mount Everest